Hey, everybody. This is Will Stuyvesant, Regional Director with Consumer Energy Options. I just want to thank you, on behalf of CEO and myself and Nathan, we want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to get on our corporate training call. We have found that those that are consistently on these training calls every week are the ones that are out there producing and having consistent results, which also means consistent paychecks. I know that our winter is coming to a close probably in the next few weeks, but still is a great time to go out and get natural gas sales. Everybody has had rising bills because of rising usage. So go out there and get some natural gas sales. In addition to that, I know I made the announcement last week, but we have been able to submit residential accounts in different states through Direct Energy for natural gas, and as of last week, we also can with electricity and have the same payout. We still could have with electricity, but now we have the mirrored payout that's exactly the same. So if you submit a residential gas or electricity accounts, you're going to get paid $10 up front on your direct agent. There's $3.50 override. And in addition to that, if you're a senior regional or national, there's a $2.50 override per promotion. So for those of you that haven't used the portals, I can tell you we've been using them in Michigan. Our team's been using them in Michigan since October, and we have found that if we submit a deal in 1 month, it's on the next commission run for the following month. So if you submit a residential account right now in March, it'll be on the April's paycheck. So just for your guys' FYI, go out there and get some fast checks. I know we talk about this every single week, but why would somebody choose to be with CEO? And the first thing is that there's absolutely no investment to get involved with us. We offer a residual income that comes from services that are unconsciously purchased, which essentially makes us recession-proof. We help people who are unknowingly and unnecessarily paying too much for their utility costs. And my favorite part of CEO is there's absolutely no cap on income or promotions, which means we have no boss. If you meet the requirements of our promotional guidelines within CEO, you have the ability to go out there and make more money. We aren't going to cap you on that. I have to apologize to all of you. For the past few months, I've actually been kind of lying to you guys. I didn't mean to, but I've been saying for the past 3 or 4, 5, 6 months that we get paid 29 different ways. And up until last week, we were actually getting paid 34 different ways. And now that we have the electricity lump sum commissions, we get paid 39 different ways with CEO. There's 8 ways to get paid personally. There's 6 ways to get paid personally. There's more ways to get paid in direct management override. And there's even more ways to get involved with our different promotional guidelines. I haven't broke up that 39 ways yet, so I'll have to do that next week. So anyway, these direct energy portals have been exciting. We've been getting a lot of people that have been getting checks pretty fast. So now that we have electricity, it pays up front with much higher commissions. It's been pretty exciting. The other thing that I like to cover too every week is that a lot of people look at different ways to make extra money, and I've met a lot of people that have wanted to invest money in the past to see if they could get an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. To do that, to get an extra $500 a month, typically you have to have a $50,000 lump sum investment, whether it's in the stock market or in real estate. And we have people, that have been using CEO as a way to supplement their income. Some people have even replaced or double, tripled what they're getting with their Social Security checks. So for those of you that have no idea how you're going to retire or whatever, why don't you use CEO to be another Social Security check for you? If you're brand new to the company, we recommend that you get involved, get your first bill in, that one being your own typically or somebody real close to you, and get 4 more bills in your first week. We also have a basic training in the back office. It's a little blue button labeled basic training right above the leaderboard. If you click on that, there's a 26-page PowerPoint presentation that gives you an overview of all the different services that CEO provides. So we recommend that you get involved with that. And then we also like to cover the leaderboard every week. So those of you that aren't familiar with the leaderboard, the people that are in the leaderboard have submitted something, which means they're going to get paid at some point. So to do that, we have four different boards we're going to cover, but three I'm going to cover today. Our natural gas leaderboard, we have number 10 with Phil St. George. Number 9 is Bob Zabik. Number 8 is Buzz H. Number 7 is John Bernard. Number 6 is Lance Lumden. Number 5 is Lisa Cornell. Number 4 is Robert F. Number 3 is Holly Hawkins. Number 2 is Diana Bernard. And number 1 is Michelle Z, Joe and Michelle Z. On our electricity board, we've got number 8, Heidi M., number 7, Lioness, number 6, Shabtai Cohen, number 5, Terry Palmer, number 4, Steve Goldstein, number 3, Stephen B., number 2, Mary Maher, number 1, Mark Milstein. In our team addition side, we've got tied for number 3, Will Stiverson, Malcolm O'Brien, Bobby Hill, Tom Curtis, and Annie Serpa. Number 2, we have Chosen Few Marketing, and number 1, we have Sam Callan. So on behalf of myself and CEO, I want to warmly, congratulate everyone that's gotten on the leaderboard. So now that we've covered that, I just want to give a warm introduction to our national director, Nathan Matlich. He always has great things to discuss. One thing I love about Nate is the fact that he's always doing something to improve himself every single day, and always has like a topic in regards to that he shares about that, in addition to all of the things that we have to offer with CEO. So without further ado, Nate, take it away, buddy.
Hey, Will, thanks for kicking us off. It's always fun to hear other individuals outside of myself describe just the opportunity that we have out there, helping people reduce their utility bills. And, just yesterday, I was sitting down and I started thinking, and last night I had my team conference call every Monday night moving forward. Anyone on my team is welcome to join. Same conference call, line in, dial in, and everything like that. I think mine's going to be every Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. I know that you have yours on Tuesday night, but last night as we were talking, Matt Hirschenberger jumped on, joined us, gave a couple real insightful stories. And, one of the things that, pops up oftentimes when we talk about our business is comparing what we have, to Social Security. And I think, oftentimes, so Social Security checks are $1,000, $1,200, maybe $1,500 max. You spend your whole entire life paying into this. Many individuals, they spend 30, 40 years, paying into Social Security, and then they get to the end of their life and, they get a, $1,200 check in the mail. And I just stopped to think about how many individuals in Consumer Energy Options was able to, build up their residual income, up to that $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 range. And, I was going down the road, and there's quite a few people. And, when I look at these people, and it takes them, 1, 2, 3 years to reach that level of residual income, whereas someone spends 30 or 40 years building that up over a lifetime. There's a lot of people that that say there's no quick ways to get to Easy Street. Well, we have a great opportunity here, and many people be able to get to reaching those goals faster, with Consumer Energy Options. So I guess one of the next things that I wanted to talk about is, I am like you said, well, always reading, always trying to develop myself, always trying to bring things to this conference call that directly applies to Consumer Energy Options. So one of the books that I'm reading right now is called Talent is Not Enough, and so I have 13 kind of bullet points in relation to that book, and how individuals can take those and directly apply it to Consumer Energy Options to find more success. Will, real quick, is it star 5 to mute the line?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's press the wrong button. All right. So in this book, it talks about, talent is not enough. And, the interesting thing is I look around and I look at a lot of case studies. I look at some of the most successful individuals in the world. Another book that I read just talked about case study after case study of these individuals is called David and Goliath. And it talked about how some of the most successful individuals, in the world weren't necessarily born into, extremely rich or wealthy families, didn't necessarily, start out having a massive circle of influence of well-connected people. They didn't necessarily have, a college education or a master's or a PhD. They might have been born into poverty. They might have had dyslexia or some other disability or impairment. And, the book talks about how because even though you might look at these individuals and from the onset of their life, kind of had a little pity for them, these individuals were able to turn some of these challenges into their life around, and through hard work, perseverance, dedication, they developed other skills outside of what they were born with or born into that allowed them to catapult up to a tremendous amount of success. I think Steve Jobs had he's basically bipolar. There's many other CEOs have dyslexia, and so when I was reading this book, Talent is Never Enough, it really reminded me that there's things that we can do every single day, in our consumer energy options business or outside of it, to become what John Maxwell calls a talent plus person, meaning that even if you are born with some particular type of talents, some people call it the gift of gab, some people call it the ability to influence or persuade someone. John Maxwell really dives into the 13 things that he believes that can help someone increase their level of success in any form of your life. And the first point is that he talks about courage, having the courage to test your talent. And what he means by this is, no matter what your talent level is, if you truly want to elevate, and play at a higher level, or go out there and grow your business or grow your CEO team, it first all starts with courage. And guess what? It doesn't matter, what your education is or what kind of family you're born into. Anyone can choose to be courageous on a daily basis. Pick up that phone. I recommend making 10 phone calls immediately in the morning when you're energized to reach out to individuals that you think that you can help reduce their energy costs or that you think would be great at consumer energy options. So courage, it doesn't necessarily take any amount of talent to be courageous, get out there and take action. The second thing that John Maxwell talks about in order to become a talent plus person is, he says that teachability expands your talent. And it doesn't matter what kind of talent it is, but if for those individuals who on a weekly basis they're jumping on these corporate calls, they're jumping on the team conference calls that Will or I put on, and they come with an open mind, and we're able to help teach them through success stories, recommendations, or even just giving a lot of you an action plan that's on the call. Teachability is huge. There's some individuals that say that the day that they stop learning is the day that they start dying, or the day that they stop growing is the day that they begin dying. And so, if you can become a lifelong learner and try to learn about gas, try to learn about electricity, learn just enough about telecom to be dangerous and submit some of those bills or those utility audits, teachability is going to be huge. Number 3 says character protects your talent. And, there's a lot of different interpretations of character. One of the reasons that I got into consumer energy options is, I was sick of working for these Fortune 500 companies, working for the man, doing sales jobs, only being valued if I make the corporation tons of money. And if I don't make them a ton of money that quarter or that year, then they devalue me. I looked at consumer energy options and because of my character and because of the opportunity, it was really able to, foster my talents, and I could go out and say, hey, look, we're saving people a ton of money on their utility bills. It's in line with, with my character and just, what I believe to be a good product offering that's a true service that benefits the consumer. And so, character not only protects your talent, but can really help grow your talents. And so, I just love that, I can spend more time with my kids, go on vacation, set my own schedule, have this residual income come in and have this business really be in line with, the character and what I want out of life. Number 4, John Maxwell says, relationships influence your talent. And at the beginning I said that, you don't necessarily have to be born into a family or immediately, have a large circle of influence of very wealthy or well-connected individuals to be successful. But I think, one thing that, really helps grow your talent is, just making a conscious effort to get out there and to increase the amount of relationships that you have or even improve the current relationships that you do have. And a couple great ways to do that is, I always recommend joining a networking group. There's networking groups called BNI. There's networking groups called LATIP. There's some people, consider your local chamber of commerce as being a phenomenal, place to get involved in and network in. And, really it's to create good, solid relationships and to expand those relationships that you can use and leverage to, grow your business. It's not that hard. It's, showing up, talking about what you do and having enough passion. And people can really see that passion, and they want to build and foster relationships with people who are very passionate about the business that they're in. So relationships can very much influence your talent, help you grow your business. Number 5, responsibility strengthens your talent. I think one of the biggest challenges with consumer energy options or any business where you're an independent contractor that you have to be a self-starter is that there's no one, there's no one who's going to, force you to get out of bed early at 7 a.m. to go to those networking groups to have breakfast, to grow your relationships and your businesses. There's no one that's going to be hammering on you to get 5 or 10 contracts in that week. There's no one who's going to be constantly forcing you to go out there and to grow your team or to invite a couple friends on these conference calls so that they can see what our business opportunity is all about. And really, in order to be a Talent Plus person, it comes down to are you going to take responsibility for your future? And those people who do take responsibilities, those are the ones who are on the leaderboard, week in and week out and constantly doing extremely well. John Maxwell talks about number 6, teamwork multiplies your talent. I know probably 6 months or a year ago, Matt Hirschenberger came on one of our corporate conference calls, and he had enjoyed a tremendous amount of success being involved with Excel Communications back in the day when telecom had originally deregulated. And one thing that he'd always say is he'd say, hey, I am not the best sales rep, or I am not the best leader on the face of the earth. I'm nothing more than just an average guy that kept doing the things that I was told would make me successful, and due to my team, it was my team that ultimately, allowed me to achieve a tremendous amount of success, basically saying that anyone could have, replicated his success if they just would have, developed a team and had a lot of consistency. And so the neat thing, and Will talks about this a lot even before a couple of you had jumped on the phone, he said, oh, man, I just logged in my back office. I have no idea how I got 40 points. For the new individuals, 40 points is 10 points shy of what you need to get promoted to senior consultant. And, with Will not even knowing, his team brought in 40 points worth of natural gas, electricity, maybe telecom accounts, a mixture of everything. And so the neat thing is that through leverage, you're in building and leveraging the team and working together and getting to sharing each other's successes, that is going to multiply and elevate not only your talent, but the amount of success you experience in consumer energy options. Got a couple more here. Belief lifts your talent. One thing that, I always do every single morning is, I get up early, I review my goals, I have a vision board, I look at the things that I want to focus on and accomplish either in the next 3 months or the next year's time. And through that every single morning kind of, looking at, what's important to me, whether it's family, whether it's growing my business, whether it's taking some vacation, buying a new house, buying a new car, whatever it is, by focusing on that every single morning on a daily basis, it elevates my belief level. And the amazing thing about success in our world today, whether it's business or otherwise, is that it all starts internally, and it all starts with the belief that you are able and capable of reaching that amount of success. And so if you want to be a Talent Plus person, John Maxwell says, hey, guess what? First you got to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then guess what? No one else will either. So it all starts with elevating, your belief in yourself and your ability to go out and accomplish great things. Next, he says, passion energizes your talent. And, one of my favorite chapters in this book talks about how talent is never enough. Talent plus passion, those are the individuals who go on to reach a stratospheric amount of success. You look at any famous musician throughout the course of history, when you look at them playing that guitar or playing that piano or singing, you just know that they were meant to hold that guitar. You just know that John Legend was meant to play that piano and to sing his heart out, and it's obvious, it's evident, and those are the individuals that people want to get involved with. Those are the individuals that build large successful businesses. Those are the individuals that have a great family life. So passion energizes your talent. It energizes everything that you do. And, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm very passionate about consumer energy options. Will is very passionate about it. It's probably because we've been doing this a while, and, we've seen consistent paychecks for, I've been doing this about 5 years. I mean, that's 60 months of consistent paychecks of, having it come in, rain or shine, whether we're working or not. That's pretty exciting. It's something that, makes Will and I very passionate about wanting to help others to achieve that same level of success. Initiative activates your talent. And so one thing that I always tell people is that, the vast majority of society is one talent away from being, of reaching a stratospheric amount of success, of going out and being extremely successful. It doesn't matter as an artist, as a business owner, as an insurance salesman, as a realtor, whatever it is. Initiative activates your talents. And so one example would be, you could be the best artist on the whole entire face of the earth. Your art could be absolutely beautiful, But if you don't take any initiative, if you don't know how to, get your art out in galleries, if you don't know how to get out and market what you're doing or share your talent, then it doesn't matter if you're the best artist in the whole entire world. If you don't take initiative, if you don't put yourself out there, no one's ever going to know it, and no one's ever going to recognize you. So taking massive amounts of action and initiative, that's what activates your talent. That's what lets everyone know, hey, I need to pick up the phone and give Will Stuyvesant a call, because guess what? He took the initiative of coming out here to this networking group. He took the initiative to coming out here to this fundraiser. He took the initiative to tell me that he's helping change people's lives, either to help them save money or help them make money. I need to talk to that guy. So initiative. Take 10 times more action than anyone else around you, and you'll achieve a tremendous amount of success. Focus directs your talent. In our society today with, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, everything under the sun, it's very easy to get distracted. Our phone's always blowing up, beeping. People are, texting you. Some people text thousands and thousands and thousands of text messages every month, super distracting. Sometimes it's just, good to sit down and say, hey, what are my goals for the next 3 months? What are my goals for the next week? What are my goals today? What are my goals? What do I need to accomplish? Lots of people like to put, plans together for, a year at a time. I think the most successful way of doing it, and this is what I do at the beginning of every week, I write down 3 to 5 things that I'm 100 absolutely, committed to accomplishing this week, and I check them off as I go. And having that focus, if I have, 3 to 5 really big wins that I'm focusing on every single week, you multiply that over 52 weeks, you could accomplish 150, 200, 250 really large tasks. But it all comes with, drilling it all the way down to what am I going to be focusing on today and this week. Also, John Maxwell talks about preparation positions your talent. A lot of people want to go out and they want to land these, 40,000 MCF accounts that pay you $400, $500, a month for the next 3 years. Maybe more. They want to, go out and land the 8 million, 10 million, 40 million kilowatt hour accounts that are going to pay you $800,000 up to $4,000 per month. But it all starts with preparation. I congratulate everyone who jumped on this conference call. You want to be here. You want to prepare so that, true success is when, opportunity meets those who are prepared. And so if you're prepared, if you're putting yourself out there, if you're taking action, that's when you're going to enjoy, the large amount of success. That's when you're going to bring on, someone onto your team that, knows the CEO of Coca-Cola, or the CEO of some large chain of, 40 locations and be able to massively expand your business that way. So big congratulations to everyone who are on these calls and preparing themselves for success. I got 2 more. The second to last one is practice sharpens your talent. Just this morning, Will and I, we were talking, just this morning, Will and I were talking, and, Will was, pulling some rate histories of, what the utilities, average prices are for the last 5 years, 10 years, talking to me about some of the ideas that he has, success that he has. It's all these little things that, Will's constantly, practicing, working on how he can grow his business, what he can do better. And practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So the more you're getting out there and sharpening your skills, the better off you'll be. Sharpen that saw before you go and try to cut the wood. And, you're going to, even though it might take a little extra time to sharpen the saw, you go to start chopping wood and cutting those logs, you'll do it in 1 quarter at a time. And then the last one, perseverance sustains your talent. Man, back when I started with consumer energy options, I guess the thing that still sticks in my mind today is, I was dedicated. I quit my full-time job. I jumped in this, both feet, and I said, hey, Heidi, Heidi's my wife. I said, hey, there'll be a little sacrifice now. Luckily, my wife had a full-time job, had some benefits. We had some real estate income coming in. And I said, hey, now's the time. Let's do it. Let's do it before we have kids, while we're still young, while we can take some chances. And I jumped in, and at one point my wife said, hey, Nate, when's this thing really going to take off? Do you need to go get a job at McDonald's, in the nights and weekends to, supplement your income? And I said, Heidi, don't worry. The money's going to come. It's a great business. Now my wife and I, we enjoy, probably twice as much vacation as what I had in my previous jobs. She loves that, I'm at home a lot more, spending much time with the family, putting the important things first. And, at the end of the day, it was all about perseverance. I knew that, if I just kept working at this and if I persevered, the money would come. The money would come. And, sure enough, it all worked out. And, now, guys like myself, Will, Matt Hirschenberger, Tom, Fred, everyone under the sun, we really want to help you, persevere and do all the right things so that you can also enjoy the level of success that you've set your sights on. So with that, it's about half past the hour. I'll go ahead and unmute the lines, and would love to have anyone with questions, comments to go ahead and share. All right, the lines are unmuted now. Any questions?
Hey, Nate, it's Will.
Hey, Will.
Hey, buddy. I just, one of the things I just want to add to what you said on the call. Nathan and I, as leaders in the company, are just ferocious readers about leadership, self-development, anything that we can do to consistently improve ourselves to be better servants for you guys. And, one of the reasons why we do that, I'm sure, Nate, you would agree with me, is that we have to consistently increase our belief level that we're worth whatever we're doing with CEO, because you can only go as far as you believe you can go with a company like this. And so that reading and self-development daily is a huge help, and building a team, which Nate and I have both worked at doing, has also helped with that, because you just increase your ability to see success, that what we do at CEO works when you read and develop yourself, and two, with building a team. And I just, like I said, every time that Nate gets on a call talking about a book, man, I just eat it up, because it's great knowledge. I mean, just another way to improve myself. So anyway, Nate, I just wanted to thank you. You did an excellent job.
Absolutely, Will. And one thing that's really stuck with me is one of the leadership gurus, I'm blanking on it right now, talks about how if you wake up in the morning, you say, hey, guess what? Yeah, this year I want to go and I want to make $1 million. Well, if you have on a scale from 1 to 10, if you have the skill set, if your skill set is at a 2, and you need to have a skill set at a level 10 in order to make $1 million per year, just by having the belief, or just by waking up and saying, hey, I want to make $1 million this year, that is never enough. First, you have to develop yourself into a level 10 individual on every level, intelligence, communication, personality, circle of influence, relationships, the whole 9 yards. And as soon as you develop yourself into a level 10 individual, guess what? You will be able to attract level 10 success. I know that I read a lot of books, but guess what? I also listen to probably more audio books than I read paperback books these days, because I'm always on the go. a lot of people think, oh, I don't like reading. I don't have time for reading. I say in order to develop yourself into a level 10 individual, guess what? There's an app on your iPhone or Android phone called Audible. It's put out by Amazon. It's their version of audio books. Download it. I think I buy, 1 or 2 books a month and listen to them on my cell phone as I'm driving around, traveling from one place to another. And so first you have to develop yourself into a level 10 person, and then you'll achieve a level 10 success. And, there's many different ways to do it. Probably one of the best ways of developing yourself into a level 10 consumer energy options consultant, the number one best way is to jump on these calls, take some notes, and then the very next day, go and put those notes into action. If you do that consistently every single week, guess what? It's you'll be unstoppable. It will be imperative that you will very soon achieve that level 10 success if you consistently plug in, take notes, and take action. Do we have any other questions, comments, success stories, challenges out there?
Nate, I just want to add one quick thing, and I apologize. I just found this out in the past 2 months. My son was looking up things on YouTube, and he happened to type in my name into YouTube. And believe it or not, Rich Weinberg, our IT guy, has all of our conference calls on YouTube. So for those of you that might want to go back through some of these old calls, you can YouTube, Nate and I, I think he puts them on there every week, so you can listen to Will and Nate's greatest hits. So I'm just kidding, but anyway, just another thing, turn your car into a library, just like Nate just said. So
and you don't have to be the most outgoing individual to be successful in this business. Some people think that in order to be successful in business, you have to be some sort of outgoing superstar, sales rep. The beautiful thing is that the way we're set up is, it's just inviting people to jump on these conference calls and listen in and see if this would be a good opportunity for them. And we're not selling anything. It's just asking people if they'd be open to having us see if they're being overcharged on their bills. So, just a couple comments there. Any other questions, comments?
I'm just kind of new on this thing. My name's Ed from Boston, and I just appreciate everything you guys are doing. And I like being on these calls because I'm new at this game, and you guys give me a lot of insight, and it really helps you and builds your confidence too when you're going out there. And really appreciate everything that CEO does for you. And I feel confident when I walk into somewhere because I know that I'm going to come out a winner when I go in there. I just want to thank everyone for that, and just keep working towards. I got to work on more recruiting, but I'm working on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I had my team conference call, and I can appreciate everything that you said, Ed. Last night one of our regional directors, he said, hey, look, I'm not some recruiting machine trying to force everyone that I talk to get involved with consumer energy options. I just walk around with my consumer energy options hat on, and as I'm going about my day-to-day life, if someone says, hey, I'm getting close to retirement and need some extra income, or I'm my wife now stays at home with the kids, and the bills are piling up a little bit. It'd be nice to have some extra income, or so there's little red flags like that go up all the time and say, hey, just telling someone, hey, I'm not sure if this would be a good fit. I know I really enjoy it, but maybe Tuesday during the day or Monday, Tuesday night, you want to jump on one of Nate or Will's team conference calls. They just to learn a little bit more about how I'm personally making some extra money so I could drive a nicer car, buy a new house, whatever it might be. So it's just constantly looking for those little flags or those little signs that go up saying, hey, it'd be nice if I, made a little extra money so I could accomplish XYZ goal. But, Ed, I do appreciate your comments, and, the neat thing about the direction that we're really trying to go and how we're attaching a lot of different leaders, senior consultants, regional directors, national directors to everyone, is that we want this business to be so simple that even if you're new on this call, that you have enough confidence to reach out to a couple friends, small business owners, and say, hey, look, I got involved with Consumer Energy Options. We're, helping people reduce their utility bills. Not sure if you're open to it or not, but I'd love to take a look at your gas, electric, telecom, phone, internet bill, and see if we can help you reduce those. Would you be open to sharing a copy with me? And it's more or less a two-step process. Grab a copy of the bill, reach out to a leader and ask them for help, and ask them, how we do what we do. And if you kind of going back to the 13 things I talked about on the call, if you have the belief in yourself, if you have the courage to put yourself out there, if you take initiative, if you're focused on a weekly basis of growing your business, if you take responsibility for your success, if you lean on your team for help, leverage your relationships, practice. Those are the little things over time that, hopefully, like Ed, many of the new agents can feel like they're comfortable and confident to get off to a fast start.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Nathan, this is Malcolm. How you doing there?
Hey, good, Malcolm. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm in Connecticut now with the Connecticut team here with Megla and Annie. We're just brainstorming on how to take down Connecticut. They're going to take over, put themselves on the map here. So thank you for some of the insights. And I also heard John Maxwell. I was always a fan of John Maxwell, and we got some motivation. So I'm going to turn them on to that and see where we get with that. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Glad you guys could join. And the thing about it is that once you have that team, that circle of influence, it's just a phenomenal place to be in, because you're all encouraging each other, you're pushing each other to do better and get to share each other's success. So hopefully we can get more of those core groups of teams. We got a good core in Michigan. We got a good core in Illinois. I think we got, some people down there in Ohio, but, would love to see that, just spread throughout the country, because, we have some great products and some great pricing. So good to hear from you.
No problem, man. Thanks so much. We're just looking to figuring out a way to pull away from the Midwestern crew. All right.
Hey, the leaderboard does not lie. So we'll.
All right. We'll be hitting it. Don't worry.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is, would love to see your name up there. Would love to see you up there.
Gotcha.
So. All right. Well, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today. We're about 45 minutes after the hour, but. Really enjoy everyone jumping on this call. I guess if I had a couple action steps that you could take the next week, I would say, number one, jump on Will's team conference call. I think he has that tonight. I have my team conference call next Monday night. Action step number two, when you wake up in the morning, I would wake up and make 10 calls every single morning, every single day. To individuals that you either think you can help reduce their utility costs, or that might be a good addition to your team. And lastly, I would encourage everyone to either first thing Monday morning or Sunday night, sit down and write your 3 to 5 goals that no matter what period then you're dedicated to finishing within the next 7 days. So jump on the team conference calls, come up with 3 to 5 things you're dedicated to accomplishing every single week. And when you wake up in the morning, immediately make 10 phone calls, related to Consumer Energy Options, and I can guarantee that you'll find a tremendous amount of success if you do that day in, day out, week in, week out. So thanks for joining us. See you at the top. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.